Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Brandon Griffin, aka the Realty Resource, coming at you with another quick tip where I try to answer a question that I'm hearing most commonly in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set the timer. All right, so today we're going to tackle this question of, what is forbearance? As the next month comes and a lot of people are still without income because of COVID, there's a lot of folks that aren't going to be able to make their mortgage payments. Now, the CARES Act has decided that there will be no foreclosures, there will be no evictions at the moment, and they're offering up these forbearance programs. But there's a few things you really need to know. So this is my first biggest point: educate yourself now, because forbearance is not equal to deferment or forgiveness. Basically, you're going to be able to stop making payments, but that means they're going to be due at some other point. So with the media reporting all sorts of programs out there, for those that are feeling this financial strain right now, it's best to understand what it means to you, and then you have to initiate it too. None of this stuff is automatic. So here's some things to consider. How to actually initiate the forbearance request. Again, it's not automatic. You really do have to call your mortgage servicer. So if you're not sure who that is, whoever you're sending your money to, or your monthly mortgage statements, the contact information on that is going to be the servicer. It's also not one size fits all. Every loan and every servicer is treating this a little bit differently. Those that are backed by the government, which is more than half the loans out there, all Fannie and Freddie backed loans, do have to offer at least 180 days of forbearance. And then at the end of that 180 days, if you still can't make your payments, they have to offer another 180 days. So it's up to 12 months. But this, again, we'll get into an example in a second. It's not exactly what it looks like. There are some loan lookup tools. They're super backed up right now. So I would say call them as soon as you possibly can. Call mid-month, because as the payments are due, that's when people really start flooding those call centers. And I've heard of wait times up to 40, 50 hours. So keep trying, be persistent. The thing you can do is I'll link to some loan lookup tools to see if your loans do qualify for those that we know are automatically granting forbearance through the CALS Act. Some typical options are, if you're going to basically not make your payments for the next 12 months, there could be one big balloon payment that would be due, and that's what we're going to look at in a second. You could extend the term of your loans, which is way, way, way more ideal. It's just taking the payments that you're not making and putting them at the end of the loan. But there's a backup in liquidity, which we'll talk about at another time. And you could also just reduce your payments. So this is all negotiable. You really need to call your servicer, talk to them, and then stand your ground and really tell them, like, this is what I need from you, and try to get them to work with you to your ideal scenario, and then get it in writing. Finally, down at the end of this whole thing, you really need to look at what's going to happen at the end. So ask the questions of the servicer like you're a child. Like, what's going to happen at the end? What if I can't make a payment at the end? What if I can't do this? What are my options? There are usually loan modifications at the end if you can't pay the balloon payment or what was unpaid for that period of time. But this could also affect your ability to purchase in the future. So if you were looking to sell and buy later in 2020 or 2021, you really want to ask, is this going to affect my ability to get a loan to purchase? Because while there are credit implications, and through the CARES Act, if it's COVID that's causing this, then they're saying that there will be no negative credit implications where there normally are. It still could affect your ability to get a loan again. So let's take a look at an example really quick. So someone, a homeowner, basically has a job, which they've now lost because of COVID. They call their servicer, they discuss their options, they negotiate, and they come to an agreement, and they request a forbearance and are granted. They get it in writing, and they're super happy about it. So their $1,800 a month payment is now not having to be made for the next 6 months. So some time passes, 6 months later, here we go. They haven't had to make a single payment, and now it's the end of October. Let's say that person actually was able to get their job back, which is great, but they weren't able to save in the interim, right? So now it's November, and they're asking for $12,600 to be due, and they just don't have it. So they run the numbers, they look into savings, and they just realize throwing up the white flag, they can't do it. So they talk to their servicer once more, and they say, hey, you know what? I don't know what to do. Like, I don't have this money. Well, you could take that amount and now spread it out in a loan modification over the next 12 months. But that new payment is going to be $2,700 as opposed to $1,800. So if they can't defer it all the way to the end, that's maybe not affordable either. So they say, okay, well, what can I do? Well, can I refi? They say no, because you were in a forbearance program, and that specifically affects your ability to get loans in the future. So what do I do now? Well, maybe you sell your home. So this is like an example of how things could really dramatically affect you down the line. What should you do? Call your trusted professional at the moment. These are like concerns that many people have, and we've been talking to people all day, every day. So please give your mortgage professional a call. If you want to give me a call too, I'm happy to help direct you. I'll put links to everything that would be helpful in the descriptions. And yeah, so that's about it for this one. And time. Thank you so much for watching this video. This has been Brandon Griffin, aka the Realty Resource. If you can help us out by liking, subscribing, following, and if you want our weekly updates for anything real estate related, go ahead and hit that notification bell. Also, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below and we'll go ahead and answer them for you. Have a good one.